What's up, Everyday Blades? So, man, I had one of these a long time ago, many a moons ago, as they say here in Texas, and I traded it. And ever since then, I wanted one back because I really, really like this little knife. This is the exact variant I was looking for. I mean, I found them that had the Perrin blade on them that kind of swooped up. Don't care for that. I found them with the rough scales on them. Don't care for that. I love the polished stonewash feel. This is everything that I like in a Spyderco PT. And I believe my other one, I modified it. And mainly because I didn't like the rough scales on it. The rough feeling of it. I like smooth blades. Things that feel nice. Things are rough. I don't like my knives to be rough. This one's still got some breaking in to do. It's a washer knife, so we kind of get spoilt with these bearing knives, man. They're already broken when we get them, just about. But man, washer knives, you got to earn it. One example of that is the SPK Lamia. Man, you have to work to break in this knife, but there's a payoff when it is finally good and broke in. Man, it works really well. It'll never be as smooth as bearings, but you don't need everything to be smooth as bearings. This knife just feels good when you open it. It's just a great knife. Anyway, back to the PT. So on the Strider lines, the two knives that I've grown fond of are the Strider PT and the Strider S&G Fatty. Particularly the full flat grind with the 20 CV blade and the black aluminum scale on it. Some of them have a tiger stripe spring side. Some of them have plain titanium. It just depends on what variant you get. But I had a couple of those, and probably will end up having another one in my collection. But this is probably my favorite Strider. I just like the way it operates. It's a little knife that does big things. That's what it feels like to me. Just really cool. And it's just a very attractive knife too, I think. This one's CPM 154, which is good to go. Super steel in my book. Does everything I need it to do. Shaving sharp. This one was practically brand new when I got it. Hardly anything I get is brand new, but this one was really close. Just a great job. Love this little knife. Let's look at the specs on it. It's got some small specs. So we're 2 3/4 blade and 3 7/8 handle scales. Let's check the weight on her. I've already reviewed that other knife a long time ago, but it was a completely different variant, and I just like this one a lot better. 3.1 ounces. Beautiful. It's like a small knife that is almost the size of a lot of other regular knives, right? Just a hair short of most other regular knives. This to me is about as regular knife as you can get right there. This is middle of the road. The SPK Lamia. Let's look at it up against the Benchmade grip. And we'll put the Lamia up against it. Go close to it. Don't have a whole lot of little knives, but the couple that I have, I really like them, and this definitely falls in that category. Most of them, when you get them, they're pretty stiff. A lot of even Medfords, when you get them, they're stiff when they're washers. So you back off the pivot first, right? And that doesn't free it up like you need to. And then you take it off and clean the grease out. They usually come with the grease in them. And you put the magic juice to it, the Gunny Glide, which is about the best. It is the best pivot oil on the market, hands down. And then with this one, it still just wouldn't free up like I like it. You know, they want you to, and it's better to break it in as they send it. With it tough like that, just work it over time, and it will break in amazingly. That's the best way. I have no patience for that. So what I do on all my other knives, and have done on this one, is loosen the pivot a little bit. That don't work. Change the grease out for oil. Polish the washers a little bit. I take my washers on here with a little bit of strop and paste and shine them up. clean everything up, put it back together, and then just barely adjust that pivot to where it's barely, just to where you don't have any blade play. But this one, I'm not able to get all the blade play out and get it like I want it. It's just forcing me to break it in. So it's just a hair looser than it ought to be, but it's just barely moves. If I tighten it up one tick more than that, it's like, but it's a break-in thing. It's part of washer knives, and it seems like the more the knife costs and the better it's built, the harder it is to break in. It's just a fact. It's just the way that it is. There's a lot of cheaper production knives that you get them a washer like, wow, man, that thing's free. But yeah, they're not machining to a 1/10 of a 1,000th tolerance. That's a big difference. So when this thing breaks in, it breaks in perfectly. It just mates to itself. All the right parts marry with just the right part of the washer and breaks in nicely. And then over time, a few months down the line, you have a phenomenal action and a phenomenal knife. You got to earn it a little bit. So there it is, the Strider PT in CPM 154. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Throw me a like if you can. It's required for all of our giveaways. We do weekly giveaways in the Facebook group. So make sure you go to our Facebook group and join. Go to the featured section. And every week, at all times, there'll be a live giveaway going. It's usually the very last post. Just follow the 3 little rules there. One of them is subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us out. Doesn't cost you anything. Support your local knife nut. And God bless you and your family. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.